What's up, gang? Today we're going over the Bespin Cloud Car set that you didn't know existed. Now, very obviously, you can see that this isn't actually quite a LEGO set. This comes from a LEGO Star Wars Build Your Own Adventure book. But even so, it is still official LEGO, and it does give you a piece count and pretty much everything that you would get from an actual LEGO set. The main thing that took me by surprise when I found this, apart from finding another official LEGO Cloud Car, because they've only made 4 in total, including this one of those being a microfighter, was that this had stud shooters on it. So that means that this came out in relatively recent years. Now, there's 3 parts to this Build Your Own Adventure book. You get the front cover, which encloses the Build Your Own Adventure Galactic Missions book and the fun little building ideas, and then as well all the pieces, the instructions, and everything you need for the Bespin Cloud Car. So we'll go ahead and build this Cloud Car, and then we'll talk about the book a little bit. So we went ahead and finished this Cloud Car, and overall it's actually pretty good. On both pilot seats they do actually have control panels, so if you have another Bespin Cloud Car pilot figure, you could toss it in there. And then as well, it does have play features with stud shooters on both sides. Those stud shooters are actually what took me by surprise the most out of this whole Build Your Own Adventure book. It wasn't the fact that this was one of few Cloud Car sets ever made, it's the fact that it had stud shooters, so that means it came out sometime recently. So that's why I was a little confused as to why I hadn't heard about it yet. But of course, this probably got overshadowed by the Cloud Car that came out in the UCS Cloud City that came out recently. Of course, that one looks better, but for what this is and coming out of a Build Your Own Adventure book, it's actually pretty good and it looks really solid. So other than that, there's not really too much to go over on the Cloud Car. It is a really smooth model. There's not too many studs exposed because of the pieces that they decide to use to help plate up the sides and give it that curvature. So it does look really good. But past what we've talked about, you just have the 2 visors for both pilots. You have a control panel for both pilots and a cannon on each side. Here in the middle, we just have a little bit of grille detailing. And then just on that back side of that grille detailing, we have the 1 engine in between the 2 pilot seats. Overall though, this Cloud Car is pretty neat, and it finally gave me a Bespin minifigure. This is my only Bespin or Cloud City minifigure of any kind, so I'm really happy to have him, and then as well my first vehicle from Cloud City being a Cloud Car. But now that we finished talking about this guy, we can go over a few neat things I found in the book. So this book is of course for kids. This entire set, if you want to call it a set, is 6+ on the box, so it isn't really advertised for older people, but this book is pretty cutesy, and it has a few neat things that I thought I'd point out. LEGO really hasn't made a lot of Naboo things, so that's why these pages interest me, because it has a whole lot of Naboo architecture and some really nice and fine detailing that I wish they would have released in some Naboo sets. But throughout this book, like on this page, it just gives you some fun building ideas for a whole bunch of different planets. It goes down into the sea on Naboo with the Gungans. If you fold really far in here, you might even get to Corellia here. We have this nice little Corellia mock. This book has a whole lot of different build ideas, like I said previously, but a lot of the things that I actually really like, that I think most fans might actually be a fan of, are these little planet mocks that they have here. Just little miniatures of different planets featured in Star Wars. The second thing I want to show you guys is something of an error, but I don't really want to call it that because it is a kid's book. But you can see that this is very obviously modeled after an AT-ACT with the orange cargo container in the middle, but they still just call it an AT-AT here. It's not a big deal, it doesn't change anything, I just thought it'd be a little neat to point out that I didn't actually have the right name in there. And the last thing I want to go over is actually on these Corellia/Solo pages, and it's this mini Han Solo speeder. Judging by the pieces, I unfortunately don't have mine handy or nearby, but it looks like this is almost a perfect alternate build out of the Han Solo speeder set that came out with the Solo movie. So I'm going to try and get my hands on one of those and see if I can build this just out of the set, but it actually looks pretty good for a miniature. And then just to mention it, Kira's land speeder, I went ahead and did some Googling, and even in concept art or anything, I couldn't really find a Kira land speeder. Maybe I didn't look too hard, but I do kind of like the look of this little speeder. Alrighty guys, well I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this quick little review over this little Bespin cloud car you might not have known existed. I definitely didn't, and when I came across it, it took me by surprise. But I hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, of me trying to find some unique or different LEGO Star Wars things that have officially come out that not a lot of people know about, let me know down in the comments. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace, fellas.